to social alerts. Getting things ready here. Those who are waiting on YouTube, we are broadcasting first time in such a long time. We have some major updates to announce, so we'll be getting started in just a few moments. I'm just getting the other streams up and running. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've done a Spaceperium broadcast, so just keep patient with me. Where is that stuff? It's in data. Broadcast and Spaceperium. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay, so we're on the see. Are we ready? Are we ready? They changed some stuff here. And we ready to go. So what is this? This is Steam should be on. Okay. We're ready, actually, so let's get that going. Okay, fellow crew members. Okay, one moment. Testing 1, 2, 3. We have the mic on there. We don't have a mic here. Why is that? It's very interesting. We have a audio issue that we're trying to fix here. One moment. Why is that? Interesting. We just had an update, and that's probably what did it. Okay. So let me simply add audio input. We'll probably start working at a later time. Testing. Okay, so now you guys can hear me on the main stream. Let me just adjust things. Let me see if that carries through to the heads-up display area. Testing 1, 2, 3. No, it's in there. Amazing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Let's see. Is this working still? Okay, yeah, we got the mic going. Testing 1, 2, 3. So hopefully everyone can hear me as we're at the HUD, heads-up display. Let's see if this one works. Testing 1, 2, 3. That one is working. Okay. All right, folks. Sorry for the problematic beginning. Again, it's whenever we get started on one of these after a while, and there was an update last night. So it completed its system. You know, when I started up the system today, its installation. And usually when we have these updates, something goes on wrong with the broadcasts. So luckily we we're able to manage that for this time round. Hopefully it works. I'm not sure if it is, but in any case, let me put up our chat boxes so that people can chime in and let us know what's going on. But in any case, Today we're going to be talking about a new development in our Spaceperium game. Quite excited for it. And I see this is what happens when I don't have. What is this called? Let's see here. Just give me a moment here. You have to get the chat room up here, so let's get that going for you guys. So it's an exciting time for us here at the Spaceperium. Because we are creating one of our new phases is being created. It's a brand new part of it. And it was already talked about previously in our previous videos, but we weren't working on it until now. So you have to go through these Google checks for fire hydrants and all that just to get into our own chat room, but I guess that's okay. And now we are getting it ready because we'll be, it's a great announcement. You know, this is exciting for Spaceperium because it is our first live site, mission site actually, that we're putting together. A live mission site. Yes, you heard it. And it's one of many that we are going to be developing. Where anyone can come and enjoy a Spaceperium mission live in real life. Not to get confused with our MySpy game in real life, which is another thing. But yes, in this game, you will have, and everyone else who's interested will be able to actually come and experience a real life Spaceperium mission. That's really exciting. That's real life. Just like you go to Disney World and you make a trip to Disney World and you make a trip to Universal and whatnot. Those are in my backdoor neighbors. You will also be able to come and experience the Spaceperium mission in real life. So it's something more to do. It's going to be in the Orlando area, and it's something more that you're able to squeeze into your schedule as you come and visit the the lesser known sites like Disney World and Universal. You can do that after you enjoy the Spaceperium. Those are like the old names from yesteryear. Spaceperium is the thing of the future. Okay, well, now. All right. So that's what we're building right now. We're getting things together. And what we're going to do in this broadcast is that we're going to start developing what the first mission is going to be. So this is also one of the ideas that I had for Spaceperium for the live missions, which was a little bit separate from the LARPing. It's the same as the LARPing, right? But it was, let me just explain for those who don't know what LARPing is. LARPing is live action role play. And in live action role play, you've seen them. They players dress up like knights and elves and witches or what do you call the male ones? The wizards, right? And the warlocks and all that. And they dress up in these medieval costumes. They make them, or whatever the theme is of the LARP. live action role play. It's actually that you actually take the role, dress up and get your gear and whatnot of the player characters in a game, like the video games, Dungeons and Dragons or stuff like that, board games or a video game, and you actually dress the part. And then you guys they go out to a park or some campgrounds or whatever, and they actually go and role play and go through a day of life in the village, and then gets attacked, whatever the storyline is in that game. And it's like an active way of playing the game. So that is one of our phases and genres in which we're developing Spaceperium. So it's the first things that we're really actually putting our hands on doing, while still working on the other things. As you know, we're working on the blockchain. We're still developing NFTs. We're still doing the video game development. That hasn't stopped, and it won't stop. It's just that these genres that we're going through is just part of the development process. It's part of the getting the awareness issue and all those other things that we've discussed in many videos before. So what's not typical about what we're doing now is that what makes it not the regular LARP is that obviously it doesn't involve just players. It involves just anyone, general public, people who don't even know what Spaceperium is all about. I had created the idea from the LARPing game genre to provide a general audience, a general awareness type of engagement where people, or experience you would call it, where people could come anywhere. It could be in any location. As a matter of fact, we're planning different locations around the country at first and then around the world, where people can go and visit actually and have a Spaceperium themed experience. And there'll be different experiences and different things going on in each location. Yes, it'll be something for people or players even to go to have to visit the different places, because you won't have the same missions, you won't have the same things. There'll be a museum in one area where it will be the Spaceperium museum of different things and hopefully some artifacts, right? And those who know the game lore understand the artifacts. The artifacts are good. The artifacts are an exciting part of the game. They're a mysterious part of the game. And they're a rewarding part of the game. So, yes, so we will have one location that is the museum. And other types of things, at different locations. And again, it all depends on availability, space-wise, investor-wise, those who want to invest in the game, be part of the development and have either facilities or want to invest in that and get those things going. All of those things, so it's all part of also, it's part of the real estate investing type of workshops that we give. It's a section that's devoted to Spaceperium development things. So all of these things are being worked on as we progress and develop this world of Spaceperium, this universe of the Imperium. And so I was looking at that aspect and thinking about how that would roll out. So the time has come in our progress to develop an actual site, the first mission site, real life. It's not we're not doing a video story or anything like that. This is a real location in the real world, in the here and now, where you can plan a vacation, plan to come, and like I said, it'll be near the Orlando area, where you can come and have a Spaceperium experience. and be exposed to what Spaceperium is and have that experience, get to experience it, yourself, and then, also with that experience, we are going to offer a year of membership as a Spaceperium recruitee. So that gives you a year of free Spaceperium enlistment, and you'll be actually part of the game for a year. So that's the benefit of reserving your time to come and have the Spaceperium experience. So there's different things that we're looking at doing. We're looking at creating a mission. It could be an Earth-based mission. It could be just a other world mission in a world that's very Earth-like. And what we're looking at doing is including in the mission certain challenges and certain things. Of course, in space, there's going to be a lot of problems. One of the Spaceperium game experience is a lot of random happenings, but it has a central. Each mission has a central theme to it. So it's like if you're orbiting, or traveling through space between galaxies, then the randomness happens or is related to that mission. If you're on Earth, then the randomness is related to Earth-based issues. This was why the game is dependent on game masters. The game masters run the game. They interpret the randomized situations because the randomized situations change depending on the context, right? And that's what the game masters train. We train the game masters to be able to interpret the random game outputs. The game will provide outputs, and then the game master is the one that takes the context of the mission context, and then determines that this is what's going on, folks. We have this situation right now. And so, and just like the game master does in Dungeons and Dragons, where they discuss, or determine this is what's happening, and this is what you need to do, or what we need to do. So it's that same type of judgment call by the game master within the context of each mission. There's different missions, as we've talked about in previous videos and whatnot. And so the randomness engine is not the issue here. The issue is anything that is the interpretation by the game master. In this aspect, though, the game master is the host. Most probably will be me, and the context is whatever we're developing now in terms of what it's going to be. So it's either going to be an Earth-based context, and there's certain things that are happening on Earth that make sense for a mission type, and that is always the search. As always, one of the main threads in the Spaceperium game is that we're always searching for the artifacts. The artifacts are the most important aspect of the game. They're the most prized thing to identify, to find, and it's used throughout the game for a great advantage. So it would have to be either finding the artifact. That would be something that would be included. And as always, Spaceperium is always about survival in space. Survival, learning the techniques, applying techniques of being able to survive on a different planet, a new location, a new planet that you're unaware of, that hasn't been researched and all that. So research is something that would be part of a mission of that nature. So again, it could either be on Earth, it could be an Earth-based mission, which would most probably entail training and entail looking for the artifacts, as we know that the Earth has a great number of artifacts from the Spaceperium lore. And then if it's in outer space, in another planet, Earth-like, because it will be Earth, it will be in real life, so we cannot fake. At this point, with the site that we have, we're not going to be able to fake some alien and foreign and different type of scaping. So it's going to be an Earth-like scape. So it can be, there are other planets that have an Earth-like appearance, so that's not an issue in that sense. But again, what would the mission be? And of course, there are artifacts in the Spaceperium lore, LORE, right, the storyline. There are artifacts across the universe, so that's, it's either on Earth or across the universe. It really doesn't matter. There's lore, there's artifacts all over. So they, again, depending on if it's Earth-based or not, Earth-like planet, that will determine certain things. But in either case, the same type of activities would have to be done. Obviously, survival. What are we going to do for eating and for surviving here? We're stuck here for more. It could be an original emergency landing. That could be the mission. You have just arrived here. The site may be a prepared site. It may be an emergency site that the ship the participant was traveling on, was formed by the emergency vessel, whatever, because we have, in each of these sites, we'll have a vessel of some type. Normally, some sites that we have planned are crash sites, so there actually will be a crashed vehicle there, and some sites will be hidden sites. There'll be sites hidden within the real world, the real world in this time, for example. And then you walk in, and then it's all of a sudden it's a Spaceperium lab, it's a Spaceperium mission area, whatever, staging area. It can be anything hidden within, behind the walls, behind the door. Looks like an office from the outside. You go in and there's a receptionist there, but it's actually a Spaceperium center. Mostly something like what you see in some spy movies, where you just go in, it's an antique shop, or it's a I think you have that in Harry Potter, right? Where they go in, it's like an antique shop, and then the headquarters, it's like it's behind the wall, right, or something like that, or the Hogwarts station, I think they call it, right? It's that you have one station that's like the real world station, but then you go through the column, and it's the Hogwarts area, whatever, where the witches go. So yeah, something like that. It's also some sites would be that way. It looks like a regular office space on the outside, but then it's a secret Spaceperium outpost on the inside. Right after you get past the receptionist with the password, stuff like that. So it can be in any place, in any type of area. Outside area, inside, business section, industrial area, whatever. It could be any place, and be a specialized Spaceperium experience. So this is what we have been planning for quite a while, and now we have an opportunity to start that here in Orlando, Florida. So we're going to have our first site, and now what we're doing at this broadcast, or this session, it's just talking about that a little bit. I'll answer questions anyone has any throughout this thing, but we're going to be thinking about possible mission types. So let me pull out my notepad here. I'm using the computer's notepad, although I have many old-fashioned and old generation real spiral notepads where a lot of the Spaceperium secret stuff is written down. I know, because some of you youngins say, what, you still using a pen and paper? Yeah. It's very stimulating for the mind. Anyway, so typing into my notepad here, we're going to do Spaceperium site. I'll call it site number 1 because it actually is our first site. Spaceperium site number 1, mission types, and I guess that's what we'll go by. So basically, it'll be a place where people will have to make a reservation. You'll have to make a reservation. There's a limit, obviously. There's a physical limitation to how many people this particular site will accommodate per year. In this particular site, we're looking at a 3-day experience. 3 days. And you'll be staying overnight. You're on mission. It's an experience. So you'll be on mission. It's 3 days that you'll spend at least at the Spaceperium mission site. Now, since we're in Orlando or near Orlando, you'll still be able to go to the Disney World. You know, you can experience Disney World and Universal and all the attractions and restaurants and things to do in Orlando that is available. There's time for that. And also you can plan to do that type of stuff after, because to come to Orlando just for 3 days, it's really, you want to come for at least a week minimum, right? So so you can plan to do the Spaceperium stuff for 3 days, and then you have the rest of your vacation time. You can take a little break and enjoy the rest all the stuff that Orlando has to offer. And that would be true mostly in the different places where the Spaceperium mission sites may be. If there's anything out there to see, to explore on your own time, you can do that. You can plan a week. But the facility itself, the Spaceperium mission, will be limited to 3 days. And you'll have the experience. The mission will be completed in 3 days. So basically, that's what you'll be looking at. So it's a 3-day experience. 3 days, and you'll have your lodgings as part of the site. Will facilitate lodging. At least this one will. So you will have a place to stay, a place to rest your head. It's not going to be the Ramada or the Marriott or anything like that, but you will have. You're not going to sleep on the ground on this site. Now there may be some sites that you will. It may be really rough, but that's the Spaceperium experience, So, but this one, the first one, we're not doing it that. We're not roughing it that much. So it is a more lighter thing. It's more a task intensive and more a learning experience about what the Spaceperium project is all about, and some application of certain survival skills. So it's just simply a little learning here and there, some application of it, and more experience, more exposure to the Spaceperium experience. It's basically what that would entail, what that would be or look like. Okay, and so we have 3 days with lodging, and then and what's going to happen on this site? We're going to start this site this year. This should be ready this year. Should be. And this site will evolve over time. Now we're planning a vehicle on this site. This site will have a vehicle. It's a Spaceperium vehicle. It's a survival pod. That's what it is. And the survival pod, obviously the storyline could be that the survival pod was, you got into it, or you were in the frozen state as your main ship was traveling through space, encountered some unknown catastrophic event, and you were expelled through with the pod or in the pod. And so that could be what this mission is. So it could be the survival pod. It could be just a research and exploration mission. Now there will be this site is within another site. The other site can also be incorporated into the mission. It could be, it may not be, but it could be. So we have that option as well. The outer site is going to be a work site or an outpost site. So that can be incorporated into a specific mission type there. So we can have the outpost landing site, right? That can be used as well in this particular site. So we have the ability in this particular site to just have a pod, survival pod and survival area type of mission. And then we have the possibility or the option to have a mission that incorporates a larger area, which will be an outpost type of situation. Where either research, food, let's say food and food research, some type of life sciences, earth science research center, outpost type of facility or site, I should say. I shouldn't say facility, and so that could be that option for that as well. Now, what else could I possibly? I'm thinking about the particular site where we're going to put this at, and see if there's any other mission types that could be incorporated into that. We can definitely do a lot of things. And we could develop them, because then we can develop other type of areas in association with that one and expand the experience outward. But we don't have to do that for the beginning, for the first ones. All right, so that's possible. Then what I was saying, that the site will be expanded, which means that as time goes on, I'm going to add, you have a launch pod, by the way, which is not going to be too technologically equipped at the beginning. But what's going to be changing over time is that I'm going to incorporate more technology into the pod. As we progress along this year and next year and the third year, we'll be making additions to the pod. And what I want to be able to do is that I want to create a system that's a pod. I want to put the pod on some type of contraption. I'm going to tell you what I'm planning. Some type of contraption that a computer can control. See? So what I want to do is that I want the ability for the pod to actually move in place, so that it can jerk and move like that. Not that it's jerking off. I'm just saying, when I say jerk, it means to shake you. So that if you have the PlayStation, PS, the hand control, I think the Xbox does the same thing. Should, or one of them used to, I guess. and that is that when the vibration, when you were playing and you got hit, you felt that vibration. So that same thing is what I want to put into these pods. I want to make these pods interact with the game mission, so that there'll be a time that there'll be some video to watch, just like the game. It'll be like the gameplay. Sometimes, like when we're here, let's say that you're inside the pod, and then inside the pod we'll have a screen. It's remember that in Spaceperium, the screen is the view outside of the outside space of what's going on. So inside the pod, you will have as if it was a small, tiny spaceship. It's a survival pod, but still have some type of technology, some type of way of looking outside, which would be the monitor, and then some way to experience a space flight, a recreation of a thing that the pod went through or whatever. But in any case, what I want to have happen is that as you're watching or enveloped in this mission, this attempt to get back to the mothership, maybe the mothership kept going and you can try to get back if you use all the rocket fuel that's left in the pod and whatever, some idea. And I want you to be able to feel the vibration and as you see in space pass by you, whatever, that you can feel the vibration actually inside the pod. So that's what I'm going to be working on as we progress onward with this project. And the same thing, I want to develop that because it's not something like new. I'm not creating something new. They have stuff like that. I just want to be able to do it, at this site. And so I want to get that done to correlate with the video. So we're going to work on it. There's a lot of work involved with that, but we're going to work on that. And that means that the missions at this site and every site that we do will effectively change every year. So every year there'll be new missions and the experience will be different. There's different types of missions. So simply, the idea with these live action role play sites and experiences in the Spaceperium game world is that you return every year. There's a certification. It's like a training, a continuing education for the players. And those of you who haven't seen any of my Spaceperium talks before, you need to know that there's a limited amount of players that we can have in the game. It has a definite cap. So the players continue their education. It's a year-to-year type of thing. And so they will... So every year we will change the mission types, and like right now we have at least 2 or 3 mission types that we can right now just for that site right alone, and we can develop new missions and other things, really endlessly. And then you also have the basic training that can be also achieved with the saliencies of each site. So some sites would tend to help in certain, like this one would be very good for the survival type of mission. Other sites would be more technological training, things like that. And then obviously we will have sites that are intended for training on infiltration with cultures, infiltrating with the culture of the planet or whatnot. You go just like you see in Star Trek, that they had to go to different cultures and they changed the dress and whatnot, and they went in and mingled amongst these population on those planets. Same type of thing. Spaceperium is going to be doing all over the world. So basically, the players in Spaceperium will have a lot of choices, a lot of places to go, mission types, and they will go and do those type of things. So it's a great, I think it's a wonderful thing. Just that alone, we're not even talking yet about the other game genres or the video game or anything like that. This is just the live action part here that we're at this point developing and expanding. So this is quite expansive. All right, so we have the research exploration mission and outpost landing site. At this point, as we start this site, again, we're going to be late. We're going to prefer or be basically heavily involved with the survival type for this opening year, because the site lends itself more to that naturally and without more investment. And of course, as we get more investment involved in this project, we will be able to create, different types of experiences. But at this point, it would be mostly the survival type. And in the survival, you have things about food, concerns, water for survival, right? So that's the first things. Shelter. The pod will be used as your principal shelter, so you got that basically, but we also want to have training in how to build a shelter and how to get a shelter any place that you happen to be forced to build a shelter. So we want to get that going also as part of what's happening at this juncture. Obviously, there's learning. There will be video available. The technology that will be available, if not the window monitor, like in the bigger ships, like we have in the heads-up display, it will always be a laptop where they can connect to the Imperium and get data and basically play the missions through their devices, laptop or a tablet type of device. The tablet devices are devices that we always was planning to utilize in the live action role play model itself, where you have the different factions or different teams going to a park area, or even it could be at a panera, a restaurant, where the team members would meet. Anywhere where you think about where meetings can be held, hotel halls, any place that lends itself to having groups of people meet together. Everyone would bring their tablets, which would have the Spaceperium app in it, or their phone. This was an early development to have the Spaceperium app on the phone. And through that app, you would play the game. You would have the information. It would be just like you see in Star Trek, where they would get information on their little device and interact with the computer through their device. So that's basically one of the key things, is the device, the technology. It's very technologically embedded. The technology is embedded in the gameplay, even in the live action. So that's a very important aspect. Even in the video game, even when the video game is out there released and people playing the video game, there will be a time, even in the video game, where you take the phone and through the Spaceperium app, they will interact with something that's happening in the game. So this is also will be something that we will be developing alongside with each of the genres. In the board game that we have in development, the NFT game, right? NFT blockchain game, the handheld is something that is part of it as well. So yeah, having that or the tablet is indispensable. So that'll be something that's developed alongside of the other genres as we move along in Spaceperium. Now, so you'll have always that learning video. You'll have handheld device interaction. And again, also depends on what skills a person has. Spaceperium incorporates the talents and skills, even your regular 9-to-5 job. If you have a skill, if you have a job, you're a doctor, or there'll be doctors playing this. They're going to be engineers playing this, SpaceX people playing this game, and just regular folks, like you and me playing this game. And if we have special knowledge, any knowledge you have, special knowledge, job knowledge, entrepreneurial knowledge, whatever's a hobby knowledge, whatever type of knowledge and skill and understandings that a person has, is going to be incorporated in your gameplay. So, so again, if somebody is coming into this reserves time at the Spaceperium experience at this particular site, and they have certain skills that apply to a development, either a mission type or a development of a mission type that we're interested in developing, then we're going to tap that skill. We're going to tell, okay, come prepared, come prepared for XYZ. That means bring some tools or bring whatever you need to do XYZ on this mission. And then we're going to have that person begin and get something started that we want to actually develop into a larger mission type or a new mission type for that site or for that space. So, and they'll get obviously in-game credit for doing that, and subsequent players and people who reserve the space will also add their 2 cents to it as we go along. It's all what Spaceperium's all about. Is each player contributes information, research, opinions. How can we fix this problem? And everybody's making a contribution along the game as they play the game. There's time, even in the video game, it's going to be like that in the video game. What should we do here? What do you think? Let's go and check out the archives, because it's an archive of all the players, all the information that they entered, and their opinions about something, and then obviously scientific fact is scientific fact. You're going to see what are the facts. These are the facts. This is how this works. And for things that we're still speculating on, we're still trying to develop, trying to hypothesize about, when those things are hypotheses. So what types of hypotheses are there? What else could it possibly be? What opinion do you have in this one? And stuff like that. So that's part also of the gameplay, to whatever degree, and everyone participates at whatever degree they have. It's not something you don't need to be a scientist to do that, but scientists will find it engaging. Everyone will find this game engaging to their level, whatever level you have. If you don't know now, you're just a all you have to do is, I agree with that one. I think what that guy said makes sense. So you say, I voted for that comment. And so that's just your contribution. It's as simple as that. You just go through that and you move on. So it's not a thing that people are going to get stuck. Oh, what I'm going to do now? Or I got to do research. It's nothing like that. Everyone plays according to their abilities. So of course, greater benefit is gained by learning, actually, by doing some research, or by contributing knowledge that you already have. That's why the SpaceX engineer, NASA engineer is going to play this. They're going, I know this. This is this. This is the way this is resolved. 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. And you can research this and research that and whatnot. And this is really the way this has to be handled. And so that information, that input's going to get a lot of benefit for that player, and a lot of weight is going to be placed on, of course, that expertise. So that's what it's going to be, and everyone else who don't know anything, I think the NASA engineer knows what he's talking about. So that's it. So you all tag along. Alrighty. So in this live action segment experience, they'll be able to add their 2 cents manually in this survival time. Maybe we'll get somebody that knows how to survive in any situation, and they're there and they see, look, that tree there, you can eat the bark of that tree, and they make a note, this tree here located, and you give the GPS location of that tree and the description. You take a picture and you say, this tree here is good for, that bark is good for eating. You can get a lot of good vitamins and survive with this tree in the site. And it's right here in this landing site, whatever, and take the picture and post it. That's a great contribution. You see, but someone made a knowledgeable find, even in the site where their mission was. And so something as simple as that, it's a vital contribution. And of course, that is the spirit of Spaceperium. That's the. I'm not telling you that you got to go and look for these things there, and they're not. The sites are not selected where we're putting it where there should be a tree where you can live on. It's not like that, but basically, if someone can find something, they've made a find. That's a find. And who knows what would that mean within the context of Spaceperium? It may have significant meaning. It may have significant value. Who knows? It may turn out to be an artifact site, a location of an artifact, because it is special, right? That's wow. Who would have known that? Well, it sounds like a great place to find something that. Who would have known that? Like, because who would have known that? The AI would have known that. The AI would have known that. So, Sherlock Holmes. If the AI would have known that, maybe the AI hid something there, like the artifact. Maybe there's an artifact there. Maybe there's something here, along with this tree. Which is most likely, because when you look at the lore, LORE, the storyline, the AI was investigating a lot of things, was studying, sensing and taking notes of many things. And part of the way the AI works was that it would embed what you would probably call nodes. It will embed a part of its neural network into wherever as a placeholder. It would use. The AI was able to use matter as a file cabinet, right? The whole universe, and as the story goes, I've said this before when I'm talking about the AI, it could travel through time. It could analyze through time. So that development was just happening when the accident happened, right? Which is what brought about all these things and the mission and why I'm here in your time, in this time right now. So I'm not going to go into all of that because I've done that in the older videos, okay? But the thing is that just like the AI is archiving, using basically all matter as an archival system. So think of the universe and the universe throughout time as an archival system, a system of a file cabinet, and all the times are folders, and in those folders are papers, are the things, the material of the physical universe. The AI would be making notes in all of these different times and different things. So whenever you find like a thing, like this is an interesting thing here. The chances are that the AI made a note of it. Yeah, here's the thing here, this thing. And when it made a note of it, it's almost the same as it embedding a note there, embedded something. Now, when it's like a placeholder here, there's something here, there's a thing of interest here, right? So when the computer had the accident, or was it sabotage, right? You guys know the story if you heard, or if you've seen my previous videos. It dumped its memory. It's dumped everything out instantly. And what happens is that it would have gone into different bookmarks, different notes, different areas of interest where the AI had spotted something, had made a note. And so it is quite possible that any area where we find something of interest, it could have been also a place of interest that received a deposit of instant memory dump by the AI. So there's very good chances if one were looking for the artifacts that these places, these special places, that's interesting, places of interest or things of interest, that there would be an artifact there. It's possible. It's not always true, but it's a good spot. And of course, there's other places that seem to us as non-important that have artifacts there. Like we wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even get it. It's just a plain in the middle of the desert. What's important here, But the AI thought there was something there, or made a note. One day you just looked at it. There's nothing there, right? So nothing here. But when the accident happened, the embedding of the data went there as well. So it goes to show you. So it doesn't always work out that an artifact is when you see something special. It doesn't always work out that way, because in the final analysis, it's by chance where the dump happened. Because everything was a note. This is not important, as opposed to this is something interesting here. So everything, it could be anything. All right. So anyway, did that help? It didn't help you at all, but that's what it is. All right. So let's see what else. There's the learning and video involved. We're going to have at least a laptop, or tablet. Handheld device interaction. And this is most probably going to need a local area network. Where this side is, I don't think we're going to have too much internet interactivity. So whatever we do here is going to have to be a local area network only, a LAN for sure. So that's also another issue. It's going to be closed, and so we have to work on that. Alrighty. So also we have star mapping at night. Do some star mapping. Do some what do you call it? Alert. SOS forms. That's for nighttime. And basically, in our terms, it would be fireworks, baby. Just fireworks. Make something that they can use for a signal. Have a signal light going on. So establish it by their computers or their devices, and or physical light. To try to do that, maybe a fire, maybe some type of firecrackers, right? Or fireworks, not crackers, but you want the fireworks to go up every so often and make a burst that maybe somebody can spot. Some radio signal maybe that we can set up some type of device there that sends out a radio signal every once in a while, stuff like that. So that these types of things, radio repair and send signal. See, these are the types of things that'll have a person, engaged in a mission, having to figure out, what's wrong with this device and how to get it working. So that's part of the fare of the mission. All right, so that's basically what we're looking at this point. I don't make these videos too long for you guys, but I just wanted to let you in on what we're doing. It's going to be exciting. We're going to start opening up the site. I'm going to do some more research. I'm going to take a break here to get something to sustain my own survivability here. And then I'll probably do another broadcast a little later on to see how far we've gone. And because I know people don't want to sit here and watch me for hours on end. I'm nice. I'm good looking to look at. I know that. My wife wants to see me all the time, but I don't think you guys have other things to do. So I'm going to end it here. The great announcement. We're getting the first site ready. If anyone wants to invest, you don't need a lot. There's not a lot you need. But if you want to invest into getting these sites up in your neighborhood, and basically you have to look at it like an Airbnb. It's an Airbnb. You're going to have an Airbnb, nice and easy. I make it simple for you, maybe. I got the ideas now. And you're going to make some great ROI on this. If you're interested in that, just contact us. Get involved with Spaceperium. I'm telling you guys to get involved with Spaceperium. There's only 100 spots available in your area. Get involved in Spaceperium. All right. There's a link to get to our site at the end of this and at the beginning of the video. Take a look. Look what it's all about. Real income, not that fake stuff that they're going out. All these of late, these NFT games and all that, they're late. And the income is nothing to write home about. We got the real thing going on. The real thing. I'm so excited about it. It's not funny. It's the real thing. You're going to make real good money with Spaceperium. Those lucky few that get involved in this right away. All right, so with that being said, take care and see you later. Follow this channel. Keep tabs because this is going. We're launching, baby. And this is the winner. Get yourself into Spaceperium and you're going to thank me for the rest of your days. Take care.